Oh my God.
I'm sure you have.
So like 4 weeks ago, we asked most of a lot of wealthy families where to park their money, where to buy the next property or invest. They would say, maybe Dubai, right? But since a lot of things have happened in the recent weeks, we want to talk about like, yeah, where is the safe haven now? So the dream of Dubai is kind of like bursting.
So historically, Portugal, for example, in World War II, we were neutral.
That's good.
Like it or not, the guy who ran Portugal, he, besides the dictatorship part, he was kind of clever and kept the Portuguese population safe.
Wow,
Portuguese,
it's the only, is it the only country other than like Switzerland?
Switzerland,
Yeah.
yeah.
In
And
the European.
yeah, and he managed to sell precious minerals for war, for example, for the Allies, he sold them for a good price, and for the Axis for the Nazis and the fascists, he would sell them like for high interest. So he brought tons of money for Portugal. And he was neutral, and he used the Azores base. We and the U.S. and the Allies used the Azores base for free.
Yeah.
So historically, we've been like neutral, and
It's also a safe haven for a lot of like
Yeah.
kings and
yeah,
like,
during also after the Second World War, during the Spanish Civil War, the royal family came to Portugal because they were safe here. They were, and because the government at the time, they were like they didn't like to put themselves in harm, so they tried to always become neutral. After the 25th of April of '74, things changed a little bit, but our neutrality meant we kept our neutrality in some regard. After this, and being part of NATO, we have our alliances, and we kept those alliances alive. And I think that's why it's one of the reasons that we are one of the safest places in the world.
we're also geographically like
Yeah.
very well positioned. We're at the edge of the
And and we never had a terror attack, luckily, because we're well positioned. We have the oldest alliances in the world with the UK, for example. We have great alliances with the US, with UAE countries, of course, and
And we're the oldest country with the original border.
yes.
Is in Europe, right? Or is
Yes,
it not,
since,
not only in Europe.
In Europe, we are one of the countries with the oldest borders. Yes.
And it's good because we're small as well. Nobody really is going to target us.
I think, and in this crazy context that we are living now, I think we're one or the only country from the Allies.
On the radar, I feel.
People tend not to know us.
Yeah. Overlooked.
Because
Which is good.
tons of people think we're part of Spain or something.
Yeah, like independent
Right.
to that.
So in a recent, I saw a video recently that a guy was interviewing a group of people in Brussels, and he didn't know that the guy he was interviewing was the president of Portugal.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure most
people tend not to know us.
No.
Just good now. Like we're not a target for anything.
No, I don't think that we're involved. I think it was something also. There's something about the oil. There's something about the oil. It's like you said something that.
Yeah, and
you know.
and for example, we in terms of in terms of being independent in terms of energy, we depend a lot on renewables. So we are a big
We
portion
have a
of
lot
our
of
grid
renewable energy
comes
funds.
of renewables, and we don't buy oil from the Middle East.
Yeah, and I think like that's the main reason for like all the unrest in general in the Middle East. You know, it's all coming back and kind of
There's a
boiling down to oil.
government program about renewable energy, right?
Yeah,
There's
by like 2030, 85% of energy
85?
needs to be
Yeah.
needs to come from like green energy, and also we're not like heavy industrial country. We're not like Germany who's manufacturing car, or France who's manufacturing like airplanes. We're like more a tourism country with sunshine, where we have a lot of solar energy. Yeah.
And I don't see factories. I don't know. As much as I travel, but through countries like I don't see that many. I mean, of course you have some.
You have some, yeah. But
It's not to the extent that Belgium that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Because all you see is the smoke.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And that's why we're seeing a lot of some celebrities come.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely like a good choice to add your real estate portfolio because I mean it's been historically safest, one of the safest in neutral, as we found out today. And yeah, it's just like a beautiful place to be. And I think a lot of people also like to go welcoming. So there are so many advantages of buying. It's also right now I feel like it's kind of cheaper than everywhere else in Europe.
And we still feel very safe.
Yeah, because I think the only comparable on the real estate market would be like around like Cyprus, Greece, but they're too close to the region where the unrest and the conflict is
Cyprus was
happening.
bombed. One of the
Okay,
like,
yeah, there you have it. I was talking about
Just
that.
now?
Cyprus was bombed in the first week of the war.
Really?
So
Yeah.
so that's
That's
yeah, I don't
they're
think
too
that-
close. They're too close.
They are, but it's also like divided into like,
I
the
also-
non-EU part and the EU part.
Yeah, we also have like a study where the Iran missile, we're like, they cannot reach Portugal, like the range.
The
Yeah,
ballistic
presumably.
missiles, they will go to
Spain, they can reach as far as
reach
Spain.
Spain.
Yeah, but not Portugal. So we're in a very good place. Yeah, geographically. And one of the recent study also say like Portugal is one of the top 10 countries where high net worth family are putting the assets in, moving the assets into like maybe buying properties, doing the golden visa and so on.
I can imagine that because also it's like it's so simple, so much simpler than everywhere else if you're non-resident. Like I've never even heard of any other country in the EU offering the non-resident like the scheme, that you register as. Everywhere, you're either in or you're out. There's no in the middle.
But as your introduction would say, today's not only taxes and the safety matters a lot. So considering everything that we discussed here, geographically, the position of Portugal is, and considering the neutrality in the past, Portugal is a very safe country.
Yeah.
And I think this matters a lot.
I mean, everyone would appreciate like a tax haven, which Dubai was, but of course it's based
Yeah.
like in the pits of, this conflict and, the region in general. It's just very tumultuous and, it's like there are too many authoritarian regimes happening there. So you really cannot predict long term what's going to happen there.
Is there anywhere else you want to go? Like move out of Portugal?
Not really. I mean, since it is my seventh country, I was like genuinely asking myself if I would, but I really cannot see where else. Definitely not in Europe, because like in Europe, I don't think there is a better, safer, more balanced space at this particular moment.
Yeah, I think also Portugal is good on a tax perspective compared to a lot of other EU countries as well.
Increasingly, yeah. Yeah,
Because-
because the tax is just like,
You talk about France,
pretty-
like just
pretty heavy.
crazy. Yeah. 'Cause here, if you buy an asset and you want to pass it to your kids, like there's zero inheritance tax.
No, I feel like to me, the bottom line is, to me, like the bottom line is,
Personally,
you have to
this
be
is a-
adaptable.
this is a-
You have to, like, if you have the assets right now and the means to, support global mobility for yourself and your family, you should, and out of all the programs available, this would be the one to go for.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
For all the
because you can always
GDP.
reshuffle, because it's like
Yeah.
the funds, and you can always withdraw if something changes, politically, economically, or socially. So it's kind of that flexibility. But right now, it's like, and that's what everyone needs to kind of focus on. It's just to stay, informed, obviously, and just see how everything progresses. Because you cannot just like bet everything on one thing and expect it to last forever. It's like immigration is dynamic, everything is dynamic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot of people who invested into buy like the property market, buy property and get the residence, actually, like they saw a great increase for the past few years, but now it's like,
Of course, it's gonna drop.
it's gonna drop and then it's gonna, like, it's never gonna go back.
Not,
Like
not-
before.
Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
So when people choose a plan B, should be somewhere like,
Yeah.
you don't choose the most prosperous, but somewhere that's
Stability,
safer.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you look
actually,
long term, right?
right now, you don't want to choose someone, a place where that are being targeted.